The Journey to the Center of the Earth, pages 7 and 8. Looking back at all that happened to me since that eventful day, I'm hardly able to believe that my adventures were real. They were so wonderful that even now I'm amazed to think about them. I was living with my uncle, a German man who was a professor of philosophy, chemistry, mineralogy, and all other kinds of ologies. He was known as Professor Hardwick. My uncle had invited me to study under him, and I was getting intense learning, as much as I could, about the earth and what lies under its surface. Although my uncle was mostly a learned man, he could speak with the greats of scientific world in almost any language and could classify over 600 different geological specimens by their weight, hardness, sound, taste, and smell. He did not at all look the part. He was 50 years old, tall, thin, and wiry. Large glasses hid his round, vast, bulging eyes. His nose was thin like a file, and he was constantly being attracted to tobacco. When he walked, he stepped a yard at a time, clenching his fist as if he were going to hit you, and then he would walk on. Most times, he was far from pleasant. But Professor Hardwick by no means was a bad man. However, to live with him meant to obey him. So when he came home one day and he began yelling, "Harry, Harry, Harry," I hesitated to go at once, even though at the time I was more interested in finding out what was being prepared for dinner than what my uncle wanted me for. Okay? Who lived with Professor Hardwick? Who lived with Professor Hardwick? What was he a professor of? What was he a professor of? Where did Harry live? Where did Harry live? When his uncle walked, he took steps in how many paces? When he walked, he took steps in how many yards? And why? Why was he afraid to go when his uncle came home calling him? Why was he afraid to go when his uncle came home calling him?